This is a message for all of you filthy Modern players out there. Cameron from the Spike Feed here. You ever go to the shop, see these guys playing with cards like Force of Will, Brainstorm, Wasteland? You ever get jealous because you're not playing with such cool cards? Well, I think there's a possibility that if you're a Modern player, you have a decent collection, there might be the chance that you might be able to play the best format in Magic. If you're like me, the barrier to entry is steep and it can be off-putting. I mean, $300 for Volcanic Island, are you kidding me? That being said, there are a huge number of Modern cards out there that are legacy playable. And I think if you were able to invest anywhere between $200 and $300 for some of the other legacy staples, you've got yourself some very playable, some very fun, and some very awesome legacy decks.
The first deck I want to take a look at is Black-Red Reanimator. I've played against this deck at the shop a number of times, and while it may not be the standard blue-black that runs counter Magic, this deck is extremely explosive. Cards like Chancellor of Annex gives you an explosive start where it's possible to put a turn 1 Gristlebrand into play. Cards like Dark Ritual, Faithless Looting, Exhume, and Lotus Petal can all get purchased for under $5 a piece. And because you're comboing, I don't think it's necessary to have Badlands straight off the bat. Blood Crypts will do just fine.
Let me ask you this, do you like playing with Siege Rhinos? The NIC Fit is for you.
NIC Fit is a great option for getting around dual lands because of Veteran Explorer. The deck wants you to play basic lands so you can take advantage of her ability. Cabal Therapies, Abrupt Decays, and even Green Sun Zeniths can all be found for under $5 a piece, leaving you with one of the more pricey cards and also one of Legacy's most notorious cards.
The card you're gonna have to spend some money on? Sensei's Divining Top.
NIC Fit is completely bonkers, and if you can survive against the likes of Miracles, you're gonna have a blast playing this awesome Legacy deck. Maverick is great if you're a Modern player, mainly because of all the cheap creatures that can come with it. Other than the steeply priced Noble Hierarch, which you might already own, there are just tons of fun, interesting, cheap creature cards. Qasali Pridemage, Mother of Runes, Deathrite, the list goes on and on. Land base is a bit more tricky, but if you go with the green-white route, you can save a few $100s by staying away from bayous. But the absolute must for the deck
is Wasteland.
While I could go on, a good buddy of mine can give you a much better reason as to why Maverick is the bomb.
So there are 3 things I would point to as good reasons to play Maverick if you're unfamiliar with the deck. Number 1, it's one of the few legacy decks that honestly enters creature combat. So if you're a fan of attacking and blocking with creatures, it's a great deck for you. Number 2, it's extremely consistent from draw to draw. The deck does a very similar thing game in and game out. And your variance tends to come from your opponents, not from your deck, like it would with something like Storm. Lastly, it's one of the best decks of all time for toolboxing. There are so many creatures that you can get with Green Sun Zenith that are silver bullets. There's just so many ways to tune and tech out the deck in order to modify the metagame you'd like to approach. So it's a very flexible deck, which is one of the other things I really love about it.
So what do you guys think? Are there other legacy decks out there that Modern players can build toward? Am I wrong in thinking these are the cards people should buy? What are some other cards you think people should buy if they want to get into Legacy? Or should Legacy continue on its slow death march? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you next time.